Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Trigger. We're back, baby!
Good old Howard Dean.
I'm your host, Zachary Clark, and you all know my co-host, Adam Thurman. Adam, how are you doing tonight?
Tired of this cold weather. Every time it gets a little bit warmer, then it dips back down into sub-zero, freeze your skin off.
What was Sub-Zero's catchphrase? Did he have one? Like he would shout when he did a move? Like, get over here. Was he like, ice?
Yeah, it was Ice Ice Baby. That was it.
Was it? No, that sounds
It doesn't sound right.
right. That doesn't sound right. Can't be true. Yeah, I don't know. We went through a day and it was like thawed out yesterday, and I'm like, oh, nice. Maybe it's warming up a little bit. Well, I actually hated it because I had to walk through my yard and it's just mud because of the permafrost melted or whatever. Ugh. But no, today it was like Sub-Zero again, so Sub-Zero wins. But show tonight's gonna be decent. I think you folks should be in for a all right program. We might be a little rusty. Gotta get the kinks out. It's been a couple weeks since we entertained you folks with our shenanigans. Oh, we missed you too, chat. Fuzzy says I missed you guys. Well, we are great. So
I was gonna say saying I think we're like 2 for 6 or 2 for 7 lately. So
oh, I almost forgot that we're coming to you live from a back alley operation studio where kidneys are being harvested to feed the impoverished Afghanis. That's a little bit of a downer. There's a couple downer. There's a couple downer notes tonight. That's what the whiskey's for. So if you haven't got any, you're in for a treat.
and unfortunately, alcohol is banned for the Afghan people.
So so true. Sad, sad. Taliban. Ace Haram. But we'll get into that. But as usual, I got some local news to report, and it's coming to us from a very interesting source.
I thought you were going to be like, it's me.
Scanner Radio. 600 block of Atoka, Hannibal, Missouri. Report of 2 females walking down the street in only undergarments. And this was on January 21, so it wasn't a warm day. These interesting folks.
Meth makes you hot.
Meth makes you hot. Oh, I'm getting so temperature here. I gotta take off these clothes. Hey, you want to walk down to the 7-Eleven and get ourselves a hot dog?
With some chili?
Gas station chili dogs are delicious. Stand by it. Stand by it. By the way, I might need to take an intermission at some point.
Oh, no.
Well, likely not. Anyway, we didn't get any further information. Just that there were a couple of interesting women. Well, I don't know women. This is describing the sex. I guess they could always be non-binary or trans in some fashion, but biologically female if we're talking about the sex. But depending on what orthodoxy you're discussing, it might be that biologically what you would describe in the old language as male
Move on.
would be, in fact, female, and trans women are women.
Recently watched Ace Ventura.
Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel! Shenanigans. But that wasn't all. Also, I have this public service announcement to all you folks. All you folks out there who think that going down to the gas station and getting yourself a hot dog is just fun and games. Well, guess what? It can turn deadly in an instant. 4400 block of Hampton Lane. Person choking on a hot dog. Quincy Fire Department and EMS are en route. Took a first responder to clear the person's throat. They were breathing normally. It's not fun and games, Adam. You can't just joke around about going down to the harvest market and getting yourself a chili dog at lunchtime.
Yeah, you have to take bites. You can't just like
choke it down. That's a hot dog that bites back, friends.
Bites your uvula.
Yeah, so be careful out there. It's just like in Field of Dreams. You've seen Field of Dreams, Adam.
I have not.
Every American has seen Field of Dreams.
Hey, I'm behind. I just.
You're behind. That movie came out.
I just watched Blade.
Folks, we're ready to cancel the show. I can't believe it. Adam has never seen the classic American film about baseball. Field of Dreams. What is this we're coming to, folks? What is this? What have we become here on Triggered?
Someone choke on a hot dog? I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah, well, a little girl chokes on a hot dog at one point in the movie. It was just a reference to it.
Okay.
It was a plot point because a thing happened related to that. I can't spoil it, and we can't talk about it because you've not seen it. I can't ruin anything.
Yeah. Movie came out. I don't want to hear any spoilers.
Everybody are to have watched The Field of Dreams already. Apparently not. What's this? Adam, what is this? Breaking news! Breaking news! Oh my God. The CDC has sent out letters following a Pennsylvania crash involving 100 test monkeys. Wait,
I've seen this one.
That's right, folks. A semi-truck carrying test monkeys crashed in Pennsylvania when a Good Samaritan woman had approached the truck to check on the cargo and the driver. She went up and thought that there were cats in these crates. Stuck her little finger in there. Coochie coo.
Yeah, that's all we.
Oh my gosh, there's monkeys in here.
It's a human face staring out at you.
Freaked her out or whatever. She's like, okay, monkeys, weird, whatever. But then she got a notice from the old CDC saying, if you happen to come down with any sort of cold or flu-like symptoms, you might want to give us a call and quarantine yourself from contact with any other human beings. What? What do they have? Oh, it's probably nothing as far as you know. And they haven't spilled the beans, as far as I know. I took a gander at the news about this, and they weren't talking about what these monkeys have. But this lady did come down with symptoms, and she had to go to the hospital, and they treated her for a variety of stuff, including rabies.
Oh, jeez.
It's that airborne rabies. Where,
Rabies is no joke. You have a bat colony on your face.
yeah.
You might want to get rabies.
Well, that's the thing. If these monkeys can transmit rabies by breathing on you, it's the end times. But anyway,
For
no,
most. And then they will become a super species and then enslave the rest of humanity.
well, you know. Or they'll, what is that? Have you ever seen 28 Days Later?
I have not.
It's a fast zombie film.
Yeah.
Zombism is transmitted by a virus, and it causes you to almost instantly transform into a mindless killing machine.
I've seen World War Z, and that's the same, but it's got like you transform within like seconds.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about fast zombies in general. It's more of a, you should have a slow burn, and it's the pure mass of the undead that is coming after you relentlessly.
Yeah, and it's slow because you see it coming, you know it's coming.
Yeah,
It's
it's
symbolic of old age or
it's
whatever.
no, I don't. I mean, I don't know. It's inevitable though. It's just like relentlessly pursuing you, and there's nothing you
Yeah,
can do. You get cornered, and the zombies come at you, right?
there's
And it's
no
like
escaping it.
there's nothing you can do. It doesn't matter how many of them you dispatch.
Right. Don't you get it? Don't you get it? We're the Walking Dead.
Is, does that mean you and me? Is that what that was supposed to mean?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh. We've got a comment in chat from. It says Vom Nya. I think they might be lost. But you're in for a good show. So my initial thing is that this was probably just some quarantine monkeys, and it was just precautionary. That's like one side, and the other side is that they were experimentally infected with some flu or whatever strain, and we're gonna get a brand new pandemic originated in Pennsylvania from this. Because not only did they expose,
What are the odds of that?
they exposed and infected that lady, but then she went to the hospital with her super infectious monkey disease that she got just by poking her finger in a cage. And she gave
being
it to
pissed at.
all those healthcare workers who then gave it to all their patients. And they're fine. They're like, it's probably just a little bit of the Omicron, but really it's
Yeah,
monkey.
they're vaccinated, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because they're still working, so obviously they're vaccinated.
I don't know how I thought they got rolled back. Except for no, not with the, I don't know. They did not for the medical workers. It was something like the Supreme Court's like, well, you know, in the spending power, the government can choose to not spend money on things, and that's
Yeah, but how does that
fine.
work? How does that work with the votes when one of the justices his vote doesn't count because he's retired?
He's retired.
He did.
He
but they-
noticed his pending
but they-
retirement.
He retired, so his vote is negated.
Well, they still doesn't answer the fact that under the Constitution, when a justice leaves office, that their term is for life, so they have to be executed.
You're Justice Breyer. I'm not sure if you're aware of this.
It says for life.
You
It
get a
says for
call
life
from the
right in the
FBI. You get a
document.
visit. And you'd be like, "Oh, I'm just following the law. I didn't know what you do."
You can't retire. It's like being Pope. I don't know if you know this, but there was a Pope who tried to retire. So now we have two popes. But Adam, there can't be two popes. I say to you into the
Yes.
camera. That's right. So one of them is a fake pope, an anti-pope.
Yeah, one is an
if you will.
anti-pope.
Maybe it's that Francis was the true pope the whole time, and Benedict was the temporary anti-pope, deposed by him. Or vice versa, Benedict illegally removed and improperly removed as pope, so now anti-pope sits on the throne. And Benedict actually pope in exile, wearing his fancy Santa Claus shoes in his villa in the hills.
I mean, come on.
Right,
South America.
writing his confessory memoirs about how he aided Hitler and murdering Jews and whatever else.
Wait,
No,
which one?
That was
One was from Germany, the other one's from Argentina, right? So like, who's hating who?
well, actually, I don't think it was Hitler. I think Benedict did play an actual active role in the child sex abuse scandal in the church.
Right, he didn't follow through with something or other.
He actively aided in covering it up, if I recall.
Yeah.
So they should have executed him. There's no question.
Yeah, because as we all know, it only happened in the Catholic Church.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously he can't kill himself, as that would be a mortal sin, but he could give himself over to be executed.
Yes. And then no more child abuse in the Catholic Church.
In St. Peter's Square, they have a giant show of it, and they build a pyre, and he walks onto it, and they bind him to the post, and they burn him there in front of the basilica as a sacrifice for all of the sins of the church. Wait a minute.
No, keep going. It sounds good. It sounds good.
And we do this with every pope at the end of their term, or if they're disgraced. At that point, the pope has died, and so there's no question. There's no anti-pope situation. You have a vacancy in the papacy filled by the cardinals.
Well, before you do that, you make sure that the cardinals each lay a hand on them to transfer the sins to.
Yes, and to make sure. Well, you always have to do that, and I haven't done all my homework, but there's something in the early church about specifically transferring the Holy Spirit from the apostles into the other disciples that they make by some sort of physical contact.
Oh yeah, even then, I would have to redo it. I would have to go back and look at it again. But there is also like, what if could there be mistakes, or would the Holy Spirit know? Like the patristic fathers had the answers.
Well, yes.
They had a lot of time.
They were the guys
that
they had the flaming tongues on their heads. But if it did require that, right? Lay on the hands, brother. What if the chain was broken?
Yeah, well, they did that. They had it like, what if you were doing that, but then like one of the priests or one of the presbyters decided like, oh, I'm no longer Christian, and they like walked away. Well, does that break the chain? How does that work?
We will never break the chain.
What if the chain was already broken so far along?
Well, that's what I'm saying. At some point over the last 2,000 years, it could be that everybody that had the physical Holy Spirit transfer juju happen, that not all of them died at once and there wasn't anybody left. And then their close confidants that would have had the Holy Spirit transferred into them via the touching part, were just mimicking it and miming what they had seen their masters do without actually having the transfer. And then they carried on a tradition without the fire to back it up. I don't know when this would have happened, mind you, because the martyrdom of the apostles happened over, decades to like almost a century. Old John was sitting on Patmos in old age.
Yeah, Romans couldn't kill
Yeah.
him.
Like, ah. And Jesus said that would happen to him. And what if we decide that you should live to old age? Something along those lines. And he did. Well, I don't know. Maybe it was the Pauline line. Who laid hands on Paul to grant him the Spirit?
The guy who get the eyes that got the eye shells off of him. The guy who cured his blindness, you know. Well, technically it was the Holy Spirit who cured his blindness, but
I don't know. He was constantly. I feel whenever I go back and I read Acts, you can sense the tension between the church fathers. Well, palpable. They did not agree on a lot of stuff. Very reminiscent of nowadays. Or maybe in the 17th century Scottish islands.
what are you talking about?
Nothing. Well, the only thing I gotta say to those to the Episcopalians listening, we lived, you bastards. Better luck next time, friends.
Make sure when you beat us with make sure when you beat one of us, you do it with a hammer.
Yeah. You should have finished the job. But no, we don't fight with other Protestant groups nowadays. For some reason, I don't understand. But all of the all of the intra-religious violence in America is pretty much gone. But the only thing you hear about every now and then is like a church burning, and that's usually some kind of atheist.
Yeah, you had like brawls of like Protestant Catholic stuff, but that usually wasn't usually like bloodshed or anything, like property damage. That's it.
Yeah, when's the last time something like that? I haven't heard about anything like that.
Well, and then can't really count that. It'd be more like racial stuff. When you like church bombings and whatnot. That it's mainly based off of race.
Yeah.
In the '60s. So
even anti-Semitism is like they had the cemetery vandalism. Now that's been about the most heinous anti-Semitism act.
Well, they had the synagogue. A synagogue was just held up hostage.
That was a foreign terrorist that entered the country and took over that synagogue.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like, and then you think, oh, okay, well, why did this guy do this? I don't know. No, nobody knows.
He had a history of extremism. He was even like improperly released from a hospital. I thought.
No, dog, that ain't me. It's like nobody knows why.
Yeah, everyone knows.
Don't do too much digging.
Oh. Yeah, don't dig into it too far because you might learn some interesting secrets. What is this? I didn't save this. Oh, yes, I did. Never mind.
Oh no.
But you might remember this, Adam. But the Americans decided that they wanted to nation build around the world in order to create democracy, stability, and freedom across the globe, prosperity, and
Yes, West
liberty.
Germany, Japan,
Yes,
Iraq,
yes.
all of Western
Afghanistan.
Europe post World War II,
Yeah. Uh,
South America,
so we invaded a little country called
Vietnam.
Afghanistan.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Afghanistan. And then after we'd spent like 20 years almost to the day there, we decided to arm our enemies with billions in equipment and weapons and billions of dollars in cash money and uh, yeet ourselves out of the country without barely a fart to our name.
Yes, people falling off the
Yeah.
C-130.
And, and on the way out, murdering 7 innocent children.
Oh yeah, the aid worker.
Yeah, an aid worker and his entire family got drone struck. Don't forget.
Yeah,
Hashtag never forget our president murdered 7 innocent children with a drone
yeah.
strike
He came out,
on the
and he looked at the camera. He's like, "We got
on the waning
him."
days of the Afghanistan occupation. The president of the United States murdered 7 children through negligence. It's the small reaper sauce.
See, I remember I remember a previous president who murdered a commander of an international terrorist force based out of Iran. That was
Yes, he did that. He came out and he announced that very proudly when he had murdered that the leader that was operating with impunity, who was an Iranian general who was directing and organizing terrorist groups in Iraq, and
Yes.
no one was doing anything about it. And Trump's just like, no. And then they're like, what are you going to do about it? And they're like, it turns out nothing. It turns out we're not going to do anything about it. That's right. That's right. Ah. I miss Trump. Never thought I'd say that.
Or he tweeted out that what was it, that spy satellite?
Yes. That's the most absurd story. All right, I'll tell the story. You may not have known, everyone. Was it even Ron? I can't even remember.
I thought it was.
He was in a situation. The president was in a situation room briefing, and they were taking keyhole satellite photos. So from orbits, like these high resolution satellite images, like detailed of activity on the ground. And it was in a briefing about activities, and I can't remember exactly the context, and it's not important. But he got these pictures, and he was like super impressed with it, and he's like, hey, can I take these with me? And they're like, I mean, not really. There's a top secret stuff. He's like, it's fine. I'm like, he's the president, I guess, right?
Yeah, you can't deny it. He's the commander in chief.
So they're like, we can't. I guess we can't say no. Can we say no? We can't. We can't say no. But just so you know, Mr. President, this is classified top secret document. So he's like, oh no, I just want to look at them, keep them on my desk because it's so cool. And then it was like an hour later, he tweets it out.
It's it's so absurd.
Oh, That's the kind of fun bumbling that I miss.
Yeah. Within like minutes, people were able to peg where the satellite was and stuff.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, yeah, yeah. They knew where the satellite was. The KGB obviously looked at it and they're like, we thought that they had technology to do this, but now we can exactly extrapolate the number of megapixels and the zoom quality of all of the spy satellites. Now. Oh, sad. Oh, whatever. We'll make better ones.
yeah, that's the.
Oh. But in the land of Afghanistan, things appear to be not going so well for the people there. And you have this issue with power vacuums that created stability and prosperity to the extent that it did. I mean, I think that a lot of the economy of Afghanistan was based on billions in aid and
Yeah.
infusions of capital and these sorts of things. And we're just like, here's the plug. Hey, we're gonna pull that off. Good luck finding food. They shouted as the planes flew off.
Yeah.
And apparently all that was true. Sky News reports that in the city of Herat in western Afghanistan, where the reporter met with families who've sold their kidneys and sold their children so that they can eat. The country's economy collapsed, and the
Yeah.
people are
Very
reverting
much
to
so.
extreme measures to survive.
Read one account where like one of the people who have been interviewed, like their 3-year-old child died, so they're like selling other children so that others like so that their remaining children don't suffer the same fate.
A mother and father have both sold their kidneys. They say that all they have left now to sell is one of their 8 children. The 25-year-old mother says, "My 3-year-old son died of hunger. I can't
Oh, this is
see
so
them all lose their lives. At least this way, someone else will feed them. Maybe." Who's buying babies in Afghanistan?
I was gonna say you can't sell kids, right? Isn't that the thing? I thought slavery it's illegal in all around the world.
Yeah, super illegal. No one ever does it.
Yeah, that's what
If
we're
they
told,
do,
right?
the law stops it from happening.
Yeah.
And the big boy state comes in, the nanny state comes swooping in and says, "You can't save that children, but I understand your plight. Here is some resources. Feed yourself. Improve your community. Thrive." Oh, thank you, nanny government. Oh, you've provided for us and all our needs. And not only that, not only have you given us a fish, but you've taught us how to fish. We will spread this news all in a day's work, friends. Oh, and
You're so ridiculous.
the nanny state then flutters away on its fairy wings. That in my mind. That's the only way I can envision what these maniacs think of the government. Instead of a malicious, negligent force of evil that leaves stuff like this in its wake. I was upset when I heard that the United States military, as a last act of malignant evil, murdered negligently 7 children, an aid worker, and his entire family. But the whole business, every death, every kidney cut out to feed a child, every child sold by grieving parents, it's laid at the foot of the President of the United States for what he did.
reminds me of the thriving slave market in Libya after we
Yeah, after we drone
destabilized it and murdered Gaddafi.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We can lay the renewed slave trade in Libya at the feet of the first black American president, and we can lay all of this nonsense at the foot of the current one.
What a nightmare.
Yeah. Hey, at least we have a independent press holding him to account for all of this. Adam, what country is Sky News from?
Isn't that I don't know. That's either Britain or Australia. I can't remember.
Is it American though?
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Hey, let's have another puff piece. Let me see if I can find it real quick, Adam. Let's have another puff piece. I don't even know if I pulled it up. Let's have another puff piece talking about how, oh, it's cool because President Biden has ushered in the largest expansion in the economy in 40 years.
Lies. Obvious lies.
Hey,
40
look,
years?
in 40 years, and this is what I know, is that it's not lies, Adam. Because I think that you can easily do maths on, I don't know, what are they measuring, like total productivity or something like this? The total size
Oh yeah,
of the
you
economy.
just choose your metric and whatnot, and then just say, oh, that's how we're doing things.
Right, but notice what they're saying, Adam. It isn't the largest economy or the most prosperous or the wealthiest. They're saying it's the largest growth. Adam, I want to ask you something. In 2020, the year before Joe Biden took office, we had a completely normal, healthy economy, correct?
Absolutely not.
Nothing had impacted the literal highest,
a whole bunch of like
highest stock
furloughs
market and the lowest unemployment that had ever been, right? It just carried through.
No.
And then Biden took over from there and made it even greater. And it grew higher at like 8% or whatever in his first year in office.
We're in for a world of hurt within the next 4 to 6 months. It's going to be bad.
They're taking the COVID. They're taking COVID economy at its lowest, and then they're measuring the growth from there to Biden's. The end of Biden's first year, and they're saying, look how much he grew the economy.
Yeah. What is that? Enemy of the people?
Yeah.
Didn't go far enough.
Like, it's Joe Rogan. He's the one turning me against them. Not their transparent lies. But I digress. If I don't get off this, I'll be talking about it all night. China. You might have heard that we're having an Olympic Games there.
Oh, are we?
Are we? I thought that we were boycotting them, but I haven't heard anything.
I thought we were in Tokyo. What's the deal?
It's in Beijing.
What?
Beijing.
No, this is not 2008.
Beijing Winter Games.
Oh, winter. They don't even have winter in Beijing. It's all jungle, I thought.
They made artificial snow out of the ash created by the corpses they burned that didn't die of COVID.
The Uyghurs, you mean?
They don't kill Uyghurs. They just castrate them and rape their women.
Oh yeah, genocide. Not killing genocide, but like ethnic cleansing genocide.
Well, China seems to just be upset with us for some reason, and it appears to be because our Second Amendment, that's just the freedom for the U.S. to shoot other people, they said. And I just said, yeah.
Absolutely.
It's true. Keep that in mind, comrade.
there's that quote attributed to Yamamoto from Admiral Yamamoto in Japan, who was, behind every blade of grass in America is a rifle.
Yes, it is one of our
Yeah,
strengths.
boy, come get it.
Yeah, it's you. We're standing here shouting, "Want some? Come and get some." That's America. Don't come. You don't want to get some. All it is hillbillies and stuff with rifles. I've seen Red Dawn. I've seen it a lot. Oh, but I thought this was hilarious. I'm like, this is exactly the point, China. And using it against authoritarian mongrels that are murdering their own people and committing genocide is exactly what the Second Amendment's for. If the time is right, America has the ability to shrug off the shackles, shrug off the yoke of the oppressor, as it were.
Yes.
But as we've talked about, it obviously is not the right time because that hasn't happened yet. That's how you can tell.
Right.
There'll be signs. There will be signs pointing
Yeah.
the way. The prophets can read them in the sky.
You mean the Libertarian Party of Kentucky?
Yeah, I mean you'll have reprisals and murders and acts of violence and terrorism and stuff.
Yeah. Those
Amen.
drone bombings and those single shot handguns and stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's like escalating toward that pretty rapidly in the last year, with all of the government crackdown on right wing extremists, which is everybody who thought that the election was suspicious.
Yeah. Or even I found that there's even more and more videos being released of the January 6th stuff. So that's interesting.
No, they kept those guys in solitary confinement in DC jail, like riddled with lice and stuff.
Yeah, I know. Oh my gosh, did you know that these guys are becoming even more extreme?
Why could that be?
What?
Yeah, those guys are gonna get out and they're gonna start bombing stuff. And I
Yeah,
can't really
it's like,
blame
I
them.
obeyed the velvet ropes for this thing? No. Going renting a budget truck and
Oh, yeah.
going on a vacation.
The next 10 years are going to be interesting times. I remember hearing stuff about 1960s America. So, especially if we get ourselves drawn into some kind of three-way world war with China and Russia. Speaking of that, did you know that apparently Russia is massing troops on the border of Ukraine?
What?
Yeah, yeah.
I thought that they already occupied Ukraine.
Only parts of Ukraine, and those are Russian parts or whatever. They were
Oh, that's right. My
protect-
mistake. Oops, my bad.
protecting ethnic Russians in the eastern Ukrainian territories.
Ooh, protecting ethnic Russians. I love that argument. We're just protecting ethnic
These are
insert people group.
Yeah,
We're protecting ethnic Germans in Czechoslovakia.
I don't remember why they decided that Crimea was cool. But
Why
Obama was
not?
just like, no, bad. You're getting sanctioned. And Putin's
Well,
like,
there's other stuff that happened too. So
yeah. Was those other stuff the withdrawal of Russian troops from Crimea? Was it the end of the Russian occupation of territory that belonged to another nation just before they invaded it with their army?
I don't
Oh, I guess I've forgotten too, Adam.
know.
in the 21st century, we forgot all the lessons we learned from the 20th. Let's
It is,
let's.
we also we didn't even hear much from Kazakhstan too. That's a whole other thing.
We're just gonna
Not much.
roll it back. We're gonna learn the lessons again in the 2030s instead of the 1930s.
Yeah, yeah. Because what are those boomers know? What are those what are those guys know?
This time with atom bombs.
We we had our chance, and Truman was too much of a pussycat, and he decided to fire MacArthur.
The world would be a
So-
much different place if we had salted the earth of China with cobalt salts.
That would have yeah.
But we're gonna get a second chance.
I don't know.
And they've even abandoned the Eastern Front. Russia says that they've moved all of their Su-35S jets to the west.
Missed opportunity because if the Imperial Sun was up to par like it would have been with its expansionist, it's just missed opportunity, Zach.
Well,
This would have been 15 years in the making.
Russia
and-
wouldn't have even dreamt of doing this. And that's what I said. The only, oh, you say you're moving all of your strategic resources to the west? It just so happens that we have two carrier groups that are going to be conducting exercises in the Bering Strait for the next 6 months.
That's how.
It's in conjunction with 30,000 Marines doing aquatic training.
think
The
it's all
other
that,
landing craft, they're Marines. That's what they do. Aquatic landings. They're practicing them over here for no reason.
Don't worry, they'll leave your base when we're done with their training exercise.
And then they're like, Putin might be like, well, I have 100,000 troops over here, but maybe we can't do that anymore. And so now they need to go over there. And then, I don't know, Biden was already begging China for help. Let me see if I have it. It might have been in here.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, what a disaster.
I don't even know. Well, Biden, anyway, here we go. The United States calls on China to use its influence with Russia to urge a diplomatic solution to the crisis. So that we get China, our good friends, the red commies.
Our good friends who committed genocide. Hey,
Anyway, you can move a couple
you
tank
guys do
divisions
something about these guys?
into Mongolia and threaten the Russian border a little. Oh, I guess so. Just starts airdropping weapons and supplies into Chechnya and just let the magic happen.
That might be the best course of action. I get oh my gosh. It's like oh my gosh, there's imminent action about to take place. And like Ukrainian president's like, no, there's no imminent invasion. And then it's like, recall the embassy, everyone evacuate. And like the Ukrainians like, this is not necessary.
We can't get you out. We can't get you out. All men for themselves. Take any charter, any commercial flight. Just get out of the country.
Yeah. And the Ukrainians like, this is very unhelpful. Why are you doing this?
It's Denethor. It's Denethor in Lord of the Rings when he stands up on the edge. He's like, flee for your lives. And the Ukrainian president is like Gandalf, and he whacks him on the head. He's like, "No, we must fight."
No, it's such a mess.
Ugh.
How'd that phone call go? It was very productive. I don't like the Ukrainians like, oh, I thought is this. It was a waste of my time, and I wish it wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, I do have that here.
we're actually not NATO anymore.
In call with Biden today, Ukrainian President Zelensky is expected to ask that the U.S. be more cautious in its messaging surrounding a potential Russian attack, per source, particularly the word imminent, as it risks causing a panic and negative economic consequences for Ukraine. Ukrainian officials have been similarly unhappy about the U.S. decision to order some departures from U.S. Embassy in Kiev, as CNN previously reported, which Zelensky warned beforehand would be an overreaction. Zelensky also hopes to brief Biden on the positive talks with Russia in Paris. This is also on top of Biden's disastrous press conference where basically he greenlit an invasion and said that if it was just a minor incursion, we probably wouldn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously true, right? Obviously true because we didn't do anything when they invaded Crimea, when they invaded Georgia the year before, when they invaded eastern Ukraine like 2 years ago or whatever it was. We're just like, but that's it, Putin.
Yeah, this is the line in the sand.
Yeah.
It's, oh my gosh.
All of Ukraine is just the line. Poland, Poland is fine. There's no historical connotations.
All of Eastern Europe, you can have it back. Who cares? Taiwan too.
But that's it. That's it. Drawing the hard line right there. Don't worry. General Milley got on the horn today and he said to Putin with his most serious face on, he said, you really shouldn't do anything because NATO is, we're very strong. Believe me.
What a joke. What a joke.
Like, what are you talking about?
This is a guy who phoned China, right? Who's like, don't worry, I got Trump under. I won't follow his stuff. What a rat!
It doesn't matter. Putin knows how strong NATO is. It's like the KGB doesn't know where every single missile and Air Force base is in the entire continent. And he knows that it's been underfunded and is almost solely supported by the United States for like 30 years.
Yeah, and not only that, he knows that there's zero effort being put in. Exhibit number 1, Afghanistan.
Yeah.
That's why we treat our allies. So
he has many examples in the recent past of America having no political will to involve itself in any more wars. Oh well. I'm so glad that the European powers have decided to neglect their own defense for the last 30 years. Yes, it is time for a resurgent Russia with a politically hesitant and isolationist America. He could literally probably, that was just joking, but I think that he probably could take all of Eastern Europe and probably only face United Nations sanctions.
Not even that. I mean,
the fun test.
Would he even get sanctions? I don't think he would get sanctions.
We issued some sanctions against them. Whenever they're probably still in place.
United Nations.
I know America did. I don't know what the United Nations.
I was gonna say he's part of like the
Security
Russia's
Council.
Part of like yeah.
Yeah. So
And then they'd be like, that's a no for me,
Yeah,
friend.
they get veto
Just,
power. They could just decide not to do that.
and then you've got like awful countries on like the human rights councils at the UN. So who gives? It's all a joke. I feel myself embracing the comedian from Watchmen. You know,
It's all a joke, man.
it's all a joke.
Well, the fun test will be if they start rabble rousing with a NATO country.
Like a true NATO country.
Yeah, like in Turkey. We still do nothing. The entire alliance collapses because it means nothing. That's when it happens. I don't know if he'd be that bold. I think that might be a few years out at least. But we'll see.
It won't be a Putin thing. How old is he?
I don't know.
In his
Immortal. They're probably feeding him the adrenochrome.
Oh,
His Russian scientists will keep him alive.
his name is Vlad, right? So I mean, like he's
Oh. And now for something completely different. This is a fun story I saw in there. Tearfully waving out the train window as my girlfriend runs alongside. 45 minutes later, she's still keeping pace. It's inhuman. Everyone on the train is screaming. I'm begging her to stop, but she can't hear me. Her eyes are pure white. Police helicopter circle overhead. Comedy genius.
yeah, it was good.
Oh. And for our ice cold fact of the week, not actually an ice cold fact explicitly, but it rings so true. When you have to wake up real early in the dark to go to work, you get real attitude about loaning money to your friends that casually wake up around noon. Hey, I'm getting up early and going to work to make money. Money that you're trying to borrow from me. And your ass didn't get out of bed until 12 o'clock. I don't know that you're a good investment, friend.
Wait, man.
But that's our show for tonight, folks. Really hope you enjoyed it. Smash that like, smash that subscribe, comment below, share with your friends, because guess what? We're back! Double immune!
Immune from what?
From the coronavirus.
Oh, okay.
We're both double immune.
Just
We
just
got high
try to
on that
help.
chronic, and I had been vaxxed, and you had been, naturally.
What did you just
immunized.
say? You got high on the chronic?
Yeah, the
What?
Omicronic.
Oh, the Omicron. Oh, I need to go to bed.
Yeah, it's about that time. That's why we're wrapping this up. All right, folks. If you want to follow us on social media, our social media handles are on the screen. I'm not very active on Twitter, but I do have some fun stuff every now and then. Adam, on the other hand, he's got like 100 followers or something. He's very popular. His tweets regularly get 3 likes, so all bangers.
Oh, it's funny.
Adam, did you have anything you'd like to add here at the end
I
of the
don't.
show?
I don't know.
This is your moment!
Have your pets spayed or neutered.
Every time! Absolutely. Have your hound dog's vulvoplasty.
No, no. Oh, $13.99 for 12 shells.
All right, folks. Well, we really hope you enjoyed the show, and we will see you next time on Triggered. Good night.